Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles. This is a new channel where I'm going to share my love of puzzles with all of you. And the goal is to post at least one video every day, and I hope you enjoy watching my puzzle solving and listening to my thought processes. And now, onto the puzzle. Today's puzzle is Nabner meets Schrödinger by Wook, or Wook. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyways, here are the rules. Schrödinger Sudoku rules apply. The digits 0 through 9 appear in every row, every column, and 3x3 box. Each row, column, and box will contain exactly one Schrödinger cell, S cell, as it says, which holds two digits simultaneously. So that means a Schrödinger cell, then, is basically one that contains two digits, and it could be any two digits from 0 to 9. So it could be like, say, 6 and 8. Usually we delineate that, or I delineate that, by having a smaller version and then just putting both of those numbers in. It gets a little confusing sometimes when you actually have uh, ones where you want pencil mark, but this is the easiest way to do it. And I also color code usually my Schrodinger's. Um, anyways, and the okay, so that's what a Schrödinger cell is. We don't. Believe. I think they're going to explain how the values add up for Schrodinger's. Nabner cages. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. Additionally, no two digits in a Nabner cage can be consecutive, regardless of their position in the cage. Okay, interesting. So that means in this cage, say it's a 7 cage. This isn't all. I think all cages are Nabner cages. So if this is adds up to 7, right? So these two bits have to add up to 7. However, the problem is it cannot be 3 and 4 specifically, right? Because there cannot be two digits in the Nabner cage at all, which are consecutive, regardless of the position. So, for example, in this 5 cell, none of the however many digits there are in the cage can be consecutive. That actually does. That's an interesting rule set, actually. And especially when taken into account the Schrödinger. That makes some very big limitations, interestingly enough. Okay, so for S cells, Schrödinger cells, both digits count for the cage rule, not their sum. That is, the Nabner cage with given sum 17 could be 0, 0, 17. I don't think there is a 17. Anyway, if there's a Nabner cage with the given sum 17 could be 0, 9, and an S cell 2, 6, because all 4 digits form together a valid Nabner set. The value of the S cell, which is 8, does not matter in this rule. Okay, so yeah. For Schrödinger cells, or S cells, the value is the sum of the two digits. Values in cells separated, okay, and then this is also property dots. Values in cells separated by a black dot are in a 2-to-1 ratio. For S cells, the value is the sum of the two digits. Not all dots are necessarily given, so there is no negative constraint for the prop key dots. And those are all the rules. If you want to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. So let's go. Okay. So one thing is that immediately in the Nabner cage, you cannot have consecutive digits in the cage. So the longer the cage, the more it's going to be interesting, right? So for this, normally in a killer cage with normal Sudoku rules, not Schrödinger rules, this would have to be 1, 2, 3. But that doesn't satisfy the Nabner cage. So that's not possible there. I think the only possibility is 0, 2, and 4, right? Because they're not consecutive. Yeah, it has to be 0, 2, and 4 because if you move the two in any direction, that's not going to work because it's going to be consecutive. If you move 0 or 4 down or up, sorry, up or down, basically toward the other ones, it's not going to be valid too. So these are all non-Schrödinger because we know that. Or it cannot be a Schrödinger because there's no Schrödinger that adds up to 4. That would be 3 digits. That is non-consecutive. So this is these also cannot be Schrödinger. So similarly, this can't be either. 7. Can any of the 7 be Schrödinger? That would have to be 4 digits that add up to 7. So the minimum would be 0, 2, 4, and 6, which is not possible. So none of these can be Schrödinger either. What does this mean, though? It cannot be 1, 2, and 4. So the 0 has to be here, right? This has to have a 0. And it could be 2, 5. It has to be 0, 2, 5. It can't be 0, 3, 4. Yeah, so this is, we also know what this is. This is 0, 2, 5, and none of them are Schrödinger. 7 could be Schrödinger. 20 has to be a Schrödinger. So that, yeah, 20 for 2 cell has to be Schrödinger because you can't add up to that. So that means none of these are Schrödinger. The Schrödinger has to be one of these. So that means these can't be Schrödinger and these can't be Schrödinger. The 20 could be many things. It has to be 3 through 9. Okay. 24. Now this is interesting. I don't think any of them can be Schrödinger, right? You could have at most 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 4. Yeah, but you can only move 1 up. So you can't have 6 cells here. So this has to be 24 specifically. And it goes from 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, which would be 20, up to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, which is 29. Actually, I think we know exactly what this is then. This has to be 3, 5, 7, 9, and 0. Right? Because can't be consecutive. So 3, 5, 7, and 9 add up to 24. And then the problem, okay, so you say you wanted a 0 and something else, right? It would have to be 0, 2, but then you could have at most 5, 7, 9. So this has to be 0, 5, 0, 3, 5, 7, 9. Because, Nabner cases cannot repeat either. And the values, no 2 digits in the case. So first of all, none of them are Schrödinger. And it has to be 0, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now we know 0 and 5 cannot be here. None of them are Schrödinger, so it could be 3, 7, or 9. This is also 3, 7, or 9. But it cannot be 7 and 9, right? Because this would have to be double. Because 3, 7, and 9, none of them are double. of anything, digit-wise. So this would have to be 3. This would have to be a value of 6. And this would have to be a value of 2. So we know the 2 specifically is here. We don't know if that's a Schrödinger or not. So this can't, none of these are 3. This has a value of 6. Okay, this has to have a 2. It can't be 1 and 1. It could be 0 and 2, or it could just be 2 by itself. So we know the 2's here. So this can't be 2. So therefore this has to have a 2, which means this cannot be 2, which means this is 2 specifically. So this cannot be 0, this has to be 0. So we know it's 2, 4. Okay, so 6. Can this be a Schrödinger? If it's a Schrödinger, it would have to be 0, 6, which is not possible because there's no 0. 1, 5, which is not possible because there's no 5. And 2, 4, and that's not possible because 2 and 4 here. So this cannot be a Schrödinger, and it's 6. And this cannot be a Schrödinger because it would have to be 2. 0 and 2 if it's a Schrödinger. So this can't be 2 either. So one of these is a Schrödinger. This is 7 and 9, which means this, okay, the 9 can never be a Schrödinger. So this has to be 7. And this has to be doubled, therefore this has to be a Schrödinger. Which means none of these, and none of these, and none of these are Schrödinger. So this is the Schrödinger, because it has to be 14. And since this is 14, it's either 5, 9, which it cannot be, or 6 and 8. So it has to be 6 and 8. So we have 1, 4, and 9. So the 4 is either 0, 4 or 1, 3. It's in here. This is 0, 4 or 1, 3. That means 9 has to be one of these because one or 4 is here, but the other one cannot be. So this has to be 1 or 4. So this is not interesting. So this can't be 7. Okay, so this cannot be 7 because that would have to be Schrödinger. Right? So this one has to be 7 here. We have a 7 here. Anything about that. So this is 1, 7, 8, 9. Interesting. Okay. This can never be. So the Schrödinger, I think, yeah, Schrödinger has to be one of these. Because they add up to 25. And there's none of these values are double the other. So the Schrödinger has to be there. So this cannot be the Schrödinger. Sorry. This cannot be the Schrödinger. So this has to be the Schrödinger. But the only one that works is 8 double, right? Then you have 16. 7 double doesn't add up, cannot add up to any of these combinations. These would be 10, 17 or 10. So 7 double would be 14, but that doesn't add up to any of these digits. 9 double just doesn't work. So 9 never can be double. So this has to be 8 and 7, 9, and one of them is Schrödinger. So this one has to be 1. So this one also has to be Schrödinger, because otherwise it doesn't work. So this cannot be Schrödinger. This is not Schrödinger. This has to be Schrödinger. This can't be Schrödinger. This is the Schrödinger. So this is 7 and 9. So this has to be 8. So we know that this is 4. This is 22 minus 1. So it's 21. 3 digits adding up to 21. It cannot be 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this can't be 4 here. I think it has to have a 9, right? So say you have, so this is 16, that works. 121. It would have to be 4, 8, 9 to start with, so it cannot be 4 or 8. So it would be 5, 7, 9. I think that's the only possibility, right? So this is 5 or 9. Right, so it's 21 plus 2, yeah. So this is 5, 7, 9. So that contributes all of that. So then we have 0 and 3. Yeah, this is 0 and 3. We have 1, 3, 5, and 9 here. 1, 3, 5, and 9. Okay, this cannot be 9. This can't be 0 or 3 or 2. Or 7 or 9. So it could be 1, no 3, no 2, no 4. Could be 5, 6, and 8. Those are the possibilities. So this cannot be 4, 8 here. This cannot be 5, 7, or 9 here. Okay, this is 12. Right, I forgot even about the Nabner constraint, but it works. So that's good. 12. You cannot have a 2, you cannot have a 6. So what are the possibilities? You could have like 0, 3, and 9. Oh, none of them are. Yeah. None of them are. So this cannot be Schrödinger. So this has to be Schrödinger. And then this has to be Schrödinger. So that eliminates Schrödinger for all of these. And yeah, so none of those can be Schrödinger. Schrödinger is either that one or that one. So this is 13. This is 12 without a 2 or 6. It could be 0. Oh, yeah. No. This is 5 or 9. This has to be 7. So this cannot be Schrödinger. These can't be Schrödinger. Schrödinger is one of these, and this. Interesting. So if it's Schrödinger, this would be 3, 9, and this would have to be 8. Okay, so let's look at the possibilities here. Okay, so it's 3. Oops. Numbers. So this is either 3, 9, 8. So this would be 3, 9, and 8. Other possibilities of 20 is 4, 7, 9. So this would be 4, 7, 9. 5, 6, 9. So this would be 5, 9, 6. 5, 7, 8. I think those are the only possibilities, right? 5, 7, 8, yeah. Okay. What is this? Okay, so this is 12. Cannot be 0, 3, 9. Because 0 and 3. 0 or 3 is here. So it cannot be 0 and 3. So this cannot have a 9. Could be like 0, 4, 8. 0, 4, 8 works. So every other combination I think does work. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. It could be 1, 4, 7. It could be 0, 4, 8. It could be like it could be 5. That's interesting. So we know the 9 is here. 0, 4, 8 works. 5. There's only one of 7. Well, this could be 9 here. So 9 would have to be somewhere. This can't be 0. Right? You can't have a double with 0. 0, it would be 0 and 0. Okay. So this is not Schrödinger. So 5 cannot be here. If this is 1, this would have to be 2. If this is 6, this would have to be 3. So this is 2, 3, or 4. 15. 20. One thing we know is there cannot be a 1 or 4 in any of these. None of these can. Oh. None of these can be 0, 5, and 1. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. This can't be 7. Oh, this can't be 7 either. So we know it's 1, 6, or it's 2, 5. So this is 1, 6, or 2, 5. Not very helpful. Okay, so none of these can have 1, 5, 7, or 9. So it could be 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. All right. Here. This is 0 through 6 and 8. 0 through 6 and 8. Oh, 15. And you have 5 digits that add up to 15. 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 is in the minimum. That's 20. So this cannot be a Nabner. Or sorry, Schrödinger. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's another thing I forgot. Okay, yeah. Bingo, okay. So that's one thing I forgot. These are all Nabner cages. So this could be, it cannot be 3, 8, 9. Because 8 and 9 are next to each other. It could be 4, 7, 9. So this could be 4, 7, 9. It cannot be 5, 6, 9 because 5 and 6 are next to each other. And it cannot be 5, 7, 8 because the 7 and 8 are next to each other. So we know exactly what this is. This is 4 and 7, 9. So no 4, no 7. So this has to have a 4. So this cannot be 4. That can't be 0. Okay, so what are the possibilities now for 12? It cannot be 0 because it would have to be 0, 5, 7 or 0, 4, 8. So 0 cannot be here. I think it has to be 1, 3, 8, right? Yeah. So this is 1, 3, 8. So this is 0. This is 3. So this is 5, 9. This is 0. So this has to be 4 and 7. So this can't be 7. This can't be 0. So this is 1, 3. 0, 0. This is 5, 9. So this can't be. This is 2, 1, 6. This can't be 0. 4, no 4 here. 0. So this is 1, 3, which forces this to be 9. This has to be 4, this is 1. So this is 5, and this becomes 7, 9. This becomes 1, 3, and 6, 8. So this cannot be 2. This is 3, 4. 3, 8, 3, 8. So 0, 2, 6, 5. It's going to be 6, it's going to be 6. So this has to be 6. So this is 0, 2, 3, 8. Cannot be 4, 8. This is 0, 2. So 7 has to be in the 20. Can you have 4 digits adding up to 20 with a 7? 1, 3, 7, 9, yes. So, oh, but it can't be 1 and 3. No 0 either. So it likely has to have a 2. So it has to have a 2. And it has to have a 4 too. So that's 11. Right, so it's 11. So the 4 also has to be one of these 3. So this is 11. So it has to have 9. It could be 9. It cannot be 0. It cannot be 2. Yeah, so this cannot be Schrödinger. So this is not Schrödinger, which means this has to be Schrödinger. So this is 4, 7, and 9, but the 9 cannot be here, and therefore this is 9. Therefore this is 5, that's 9. So this has to be the Schrödinger. So this can't be Schrödinger. This can't be Schrödinger. This can't be Schrödinger. Okay, so this cannot be 1 and 3 because that would be 3. This is 0 and 4. So this is 3, which means that's 6, 1, 3, 2, 4. So no 6s here. No 0, 1, 3, 6. And 4, 2. And 6. No 3. So this is 4, 7, 9. We have 2, 6, and 8. 2, 5, 6, and 8. So 2, 6, and 8 are eliminated here. So this is 5. This is 0. This is 5. We have 2, 6, and 8. 2 and 6 are double 4. And 6 and 8 are double 7. So this is 2 or 8. This can't be 5. So 13 without 0, 2, 5, 6, and 8. So it has to have 1, and it has to have 3. So that means it's 1, 3, 9. So this is 1, 3, 9. So this cannot be 9. Therefore, this is the 9. This has to be 6. So this can't be 6. This is 1. This is 6. We have this is 2 or 8, and then we have also 4, 5, and 6. This can't be 4, this can't be 4. This has to have a 4. Can it be Schrödinger? You would have to have 4 and some weird amount. It cannot be 0. So this has to be 4, and it has to be 4 by itself. So this cannot be Schrödinger. So this is the Schrödinger, and this is the Schrödinger. So this is not Schrödinger. 1 of 5 or 6 is here. So we have 2 and 8, 1 of 2 and 8, and then we have 7. And then we have 0. This can't be 0. No 9. No 7. This is 2 or 8. This is 2 or 8. This is 2 or 8. So this cannot be 2 or 8 here. This is 0 to 7. This is 15. Okay, so 15 can be 0, 2, 4, 9. Okay, so first of all, we know the zeros here, so then it's 3 other digits that add up to 15. So it could be 2, 4, 9. It has to have 1 out of 2, 4, and 8. So it could be 2, 4, 9. So it'd have to be 9 and 2. This would be 0, 4. It could be, so this has to be 8. Because 1 is not double below. This can't be 4, 0. Okay, 0, 2 could be 4, 9, or 0, 2, 5, 8. There's 0, or there's no 5. So we know the 5 is here. This is 6, so the 6 has to be one of those 2. So we've got almost all the Nabner cage. This is the last Nabner cage. Okay, so say you had 0, 2. It could be 4, 9. So it'd be 0, 4, 2, 9. 0, 2, 5, 8. That can't be 5, 8. 0, 2, 6, 7 does not work. So it can never contain a 1. So 1 can't be here, 1 can't be here. Therefore, the 1 is over here. That means the 1 is one of those. Could be 2, 4, 9. Cannot be 2, 5, 8 because the 5 is to be outside. Could be 2, cannot be 2, 6, 7. So that's only possibilities for 2. 4, okay, let's say 3. It would have to be 3, 4, 8, which doesn't work. So 3 cannot be here, right? 3, 5, 7, but the problem is there is no 3, 5, or 7 there. You can't have a 5 anyways. So 3 cannot be here. Therefore, we know the 3 has to be here. So this is 3, right? 3 can't be here. 3 can't be here. 3 can't be in the 15 box. So this has to be 3. That can't be 3. This cannot be 0, cannot be 1, no 2, no 3, 4, could be 5, can't be 6, could be 7, 8, 9. Could be 9. This is 5, 7, 8. 4 with 2 or 6, or 7 with 6 or 8. So 1 is over here with those 2. Okay. Can't be 3. We tried 0, 2. Can only be 4 and 9. What about 4? 4 without a 2 would have to be 5 and 6. That's not workable. So it has to be 0, 4, 2, 9. So this is 2, this is 9. This has to be 0, that's 4. So this is 2, with 8, 3, that's 0. So this is 8, this is 2 and 6. That's 4. That worked actually 9. This 6 has to be here. It has to be 5. This is 7. So this is 1 and 8. This can't be 8. No 2 here. No 0 here. So 5 here, so this is 2 and 8. So this is 1 and 8, which forces this to be 5. This has to be 8. So this has to be 9. So we got 1. 3, 9, 1, 3. So this is the 1. This cannot be 8. So this is 8. There's no positive. This is 2. This is 8. This cannot be 2. So this has to be part of the 2. So this can't be 2. This is 6, 2. This is 2 and 5. So this is 6. This is a 2, 5 combo. And we have, this is 1 less 1, 1, 2, 3. This is 5. So this becomes 6 and 7, I believe. Which makes this 0. So this is 0, 5, 0. This is 7. And that's a solve. Schrödinger cells are always very interesting. It makes you have to rethink things in a very specific way. I've had a pretty decent experience with that, so it's not that bad for me. But it might be difficult for newer players, especially people who haven't really run into it before. Anyways, that's the solve, and see you next time. Take care.